It's understandable if you have high expectations for Shadow of the Erdtree. FromSoftware's monumental action RPGs never fail to deliver, and Elden Ring had a shattering impact on the industry when it launched in 2022. It rightfully won Game of the Year and instantly became a favourite for gamers around the world, myself included. So, I hope you can imagine my excitement when I was among the lucky few invited to preview Shadow of the Erdtree. After 3 hours with Elden Ring's first and only expansion, I'm confident it won't just meet our expectations, but it will raise the bar for post-launch content in the industry. Moments after touching Miquella's withered hand, you awaken in the land of Shadow, a hauntingly beautiful dreamscape that feels deliciously fresh but comfortably familiar. Shadow of the Erdtree's new region is easily one of the most visually stunning landscapes ever created in a video game. It's breathtaking. A twisted, infested Erdtree towers above, while countless upcoming landmarks loom enticingly on the skyline. The longer you look, the more you can see. There are castles and settlements, encampments and ruins, mountains and valleys. The Land of Shadow's sombre horizon rivals the lands between for spectacle and scale, and you can bet you'll be visiting all those distant areas later. It does feel strange setting foot in a new Elden Ring region for the first time in nearly 2.5 years, but it feels good to be back. Bandai Namco only allowed us to roam within Shadow of the Erdtree's first map piece, but there was more than enough on my plate for the whole 3-hour preview. The first area is surprisingly expansive for such a small portion of the Land of Shadow, and in a few short hours I found everything we've come to expect from a From Software classic. Dungeons of varying sizes, tons of new enemy types, wandering elites and field bosses like the Burning Wicker Man you're seeing here, NPCs with eerily vague dialogue, and heaps of powerful new weapons and spells, which was easily my favourite part of the entire preview. Shadow of the Erdtree gives you so many new toys to play with, it really feels like Christmas came early. The expansion adds 8 new weapon types, and staggeringly over 100 new weapons. It's an impressive addition to Elden Ring's already gigantic arsenal. I tried around a dozen weapons during the preview, and each one had an interesting moveset or a fun ability unlike anything from the base game. There's a 2-handed Great Hammer you can whirl around and throw like Mjolnir, throwing daggers and throwing axes, a great katana, and even perfume weapons that spray enemies with harmful elemental vapour. It's like the ultimate alchemist fantasy. I chose the Sorcerer class, which is what you're seeing here. It's a lightly armoured spellcaster that uses a mixture of intelligence and faith, and wields one of the new hand-to-hand combat styles. The martial arts attacks pack a punch, pun intended, and they feel borderline OP, but I could say the same about every new weapon I tried. Another of my favourites is the Beast Claw. This is a fast, in-your-face fighting style that sees you darting around the battle and swiping at your foes like a juiced-up animal. It's essentially an upgraded version of Bloodborne's Beast Claw, and I really can't wait to try it out in a full playthrough. The sheer breadth of what's on offer here is absolutely staggering, and I'm so excited to experiment with all these new tools. Elden Ring's build diversity was always one of its biggest strengths, but with Shadow of the Erdtree's new additions, we'll have vastly more options than ever before. And the perfect place to put these new tools to the test is in Shadow of the Erdtree's new legacy dungeons, the first of which is Bellurat Tower Settlement. It's an enormous, crumbling castle town with impressive verticality, and it feels like peak From Software level design. You'll traverse winding alleys and twisting interiors, jump between rooftops, and unlock clever shortcuts as you ascend to the summit of a once proud fortress, now crumbling and overrun by its mindless denizens. It's reminiscent of Demon Souls' Boletaria, Dark Souls 3's Ring City, and Elden Ring's Leyndell in all the best ways, and I loved exploring its countless nooks and crannies. There are branching paths, optional areas hiding missable goodies, an expansive underground section sealed behind a locked door, and even a poison swamp. From Software is back and ready to rumble in the best way possible. All things considered, Bellurat has to be one of my favourite legacy dungeons in Elden Ring. There are just so many places to explore and things to find, and it culminates in one of From Software's best boss battles to date. You might remember it from the trailers. It's the Divine Beast Dancing Lion. This is the first of 10 major bosses in Shadow of the Erdtree, and as you expect, it wants to put your insides on the outside. The dancing lion is ruthlessly punishing but hugely satisfying to beat. It prances around the arena, unleashing a cacophony of storm magic and barely gives you a moment to breathe, but it's an awesome fight, especially once you hit phase 2. Just try not to get caught by its grab attack, it'll eat you alive. From Software always underpromises and overdelivers, so when the developer spends 2 years working on an expansion to one of the biggest and best reviewed RPGs of all time, you know there's going to be lots to sink your teeth into. I loved every minute of my 3 hours with Elden Ring's expansion, and I can't wait for it to launch on June 21st. If the rest of Shadow of the Erdtree is anything like the 3 hours I played, it will easily be worth a $40 price tag.